Yes, hi. I am calling this number because I saw it on a bathroom wall. Seeing if you're Brandi.
Greetings, Earthlings. You're listening to Brandi is Going to Hell Quickies edition. Hot topic this week in my world is commute conversations / run-ins. I had a couple of good ones and bad ones this week, so I'd like to talk about them. Monday was a weird start to the day. Really weird. Every day I walk to the PATH train, which is a 10-minute walk from my apartment. I live in Jersey City. My address is... Just kidding. But I walk to the train and I take the stairs every day. There's no escalator down. And this elderly couple was walking in front of me on the stairs. I was taking my time because I didn't want to be rude and I wasn't in a rush. But this gentleman behind me was yelling, "Excuse me," and I could feel him tapping my back a little bit, and I'm just like, oh, this motherfucker. But I was, I held my ground because there was an elderly person to the right of me and an elderly person directly in front of me on the left. And then in front of that elderly person on the right, there was somebody sweeping the stairs. So it was just a congested moment on the train stairwell, let me tell you. Anyway, so this guy's behind me, kind of like tapping me, saying, "Excuse me." And then we're on to the last 3 steps, and he just barrels by me. Little push with it, and beelines for the train doors. Sticks his hand in, gets shut, and I'm like, what an asshole. Are you serious, dude? Because A, he pushed me. B, there are elderly people in front of me, and I just couldn't believe his attitude. So, okay, I did yell, "What an ass, are you serious?" or whatever came out of my mouth. It was in the moment that I was just so consumed that somebody A, pushed me and were so rude to elderly people that I just spoke my mind. I think it's important to speak your mind when, people confront you and, step over your boundaries, because it's like, yo, I'm a person. You just don't exist in your own bubble. There's shit going on around you. So he obviously was wallowing in self-defeat because he didn't make the train and had to look at my beautiful face. He proceeded to march up to me and yell at me you're such a dickbag, and or maybe he said dickhead, and I was an asshole. And as this is going on, I am going right back at him because I am generally a very, very cool, calm, and collected, nice person until you get in my face or offend me or act a dick or, whatever. If you step over my line, I will come at you full force because now the game is on, because I will win. I am a wordsmith. I can come up with really witty and fast remarks, especially with strangers who I have nothing to lose with. So this guy came up to me and, saying all these things to me, and I go back, and I was kind of hesitant about doing this podcast to talk about it because I did go in pretty snarky back at him. But you know what? I did it, and I don't care. He proceeded to march up to me and yell in my face and say I was a dick, I was an asshole, and I flat out called him a cunt rag. And his best comeback was your mom. And it's cool, dude, you're a 40-year-old man, and your mom is your comeback. Wow, cool, dude. So when he said your mom, I said your mom and your dad, and I gave him the flying V and stuck my tongue between my fingers, and he got really offended just because I really once you cross that boundary, it's I just don't care at that point. I will come back just as hard. He marched off and called me a white piece of shit, and I was just dude, there were elderly people walking in front of me. I was if you're in such a goddamn rush, then leave for the train a little earlier instead of barreling people. Mind you, he had a fucking McDonald's bag in his hand, and I just wanted to be you had enough time to go to fucking McDonald's, and I can't, seriously, to double back, I can't believe he called me a white piece of shit. that like was so out of line that he said that, because I really am a lover to all people. And I can't believe that his remark to me was a like racial slur. I just thought it was completely rude, because I could have came back at him and said, "You're a black piece of shit." And that wouldn't have been my style. That would have been incredibly inappropriate. And, whoever is a decent human being wouldn't say that to someone. Like, especially in this climate in America right now and all over the world. So I was so upset that he said that to me, but also like extremely livid. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, the elderly couple is like shaking their head at him and kind of maybe grateful that I'm sticking up for them, because I mean, they're elderly. They don't speak English. I can't remember if they were like an Indian couple or I don't know. They weren't Caucasian, and they were confused, and I did my piece of the day. There was an elderly couple walking in front of me. I let them go down the stairs. I wasn't in a rush. I could take one step at a time every 5 seconds. Don't give a fuck, because I'm just cruising along. Anyway, it just really, really irked the absolute shit out of me. And to make that day like even more bizarre, after I had that subway or path platform altercation on the subway platform on 34th Street, there was a fucking dead body. So Monday had a great start. Awesome start. Just kidding. Definitely not. However, I will say this on a lighter note, and this is what sealed the deal to make me want to do this podcast, was yesterday, this gentleman on the train. So when I get on the train in the morning, I just have my headphones on. It's either playing music or it's just nothing. I just sometimes don't want to hear babies cry or make it seem like I'm doing something. I don't know. Anyway, the music wasn't on, so I could hear everything that was going on. And I usually stand up on the train because I feel like everybody in the world would need to sit before I do, because A, I'm young, B, anybody is more in need of sitting than I need to. So standing up is great. I stand up every day on the train to work and from work, and you will hardly ever see me sitting. Anyway, so I was standing in these little corridor divot things on a path that's not in the open area, so I can just kind of like hide and lay my bags down and whatever. So I'm standing in this little divot, and this kind of dweeby Asian man leaned over kind of like in front of me and like waved his arm, and he was just like, "Oh, I like couldn't help but notice and stare at you. I think you're really cute." And I just like was really taken back by it. And so there's like a couple different situations I'd like to go over with this confrontation on the train. And I feel like most women nowadays like would just be super bitchy to this poor man. And like my philosophy in life is I'm really nice to pretty much anybody who comes up to me like on a first time encounter, just because you just don't know that person. So why like would I be mean to a stranger or mean to anybody if they just say something nice to me? So this gentleman was just like, "Oh, you're really cute." And I just said, "Thank you." I didn't know what else to say. It's just like, "Thank you. That's really nice of you to say." And he's like, "I couldn't help but notice how cute you are, and you have a cool style, and I wanted to tell you." And that is super cool to me, only because for a couple of reasons. There's a lot of really like outgoing and very open-minded spiritual people I've witnessed on train rides that just go up to people and compliment them and have conversations with them. And I think that is the most charming thing ever, because compliments really do make you feel good. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who it's coming from, a boy, a girl, like an old person, a young person. If somebody says something nice about you, it just feels good. And I think too many people nowadays kind of just button up their lips and look down at their phones and read a book or something and just don't extend themselves to be nice to strangers or people they know just by saying something nice. he said that to me, and it was really nice, and I was just very thankful back. And then he got creepy. Not like super creepy. He was just like, oh, so I don't remember how the conversation went, but he was wondering if I was going to work or something, or what I was doing. I was going to work, blah, blah, blah. I was up late. I was tired. And he works from home and was just going out to enjoy some fresh air in the city, I guess. I don't know. And he asked me to go, and I'm like, no, dude, I got work. So even though, like, another thing is, if like a feisty woman and the guy asked that, they probably would have like went ape shit on him. But like, you know what? I already know that I'm not ever going to go out with this man ever. So I might as well just be nice because, you know, it's like one of those situations where like you kind of want to pull the sorry I'm in a relationship card, but like I am so innocent. And my boyfriend hates me for this, but I will give everybody the benefit of the doubt. If somebody wants to like hang out with somebody, it's like I view myself as like an equal to everybody. So if a man comes up to me and says, "Oh, I want to hang out with you," it's going to be like, "Okay, like I understand that you might want to pursue me in a romantic way, but in my mind, it's like, okay, I'm a game player. I'll be friends with everybody. Like, I'll friend zone you like you wouldn't believe because I have nothing more to give to you. I like friendship. Friendship is great. Most of my friends are guys. It's awesome because I have way better conversations with men than I do with women." But anyway, I said I had work, and as I was standing there, I did carry on obviously I carried on the conversation a little bit because I asked where he was going and stuff, just to be nice. And before he got off at a stop, he went in front of me again and just waved his arms, and he said, "Thanks, you know, you have a really nice attitude." And I just thought that was really nice because I can't imagine, he seems like he's the kind of dude that just always talks to women and is like go-getter. Like, I'm sure he's like fishing for luckies or something, but yeah, it was just a really nice complimentary morning to my morning prior where I saw dead people and got yelled at by an angry man with a McDonald's bag. So I just wanted to share that little rant with you. Like I said in my previous episodes, if you haven't listened, this is the truncated version of my full production podcast that I'm doing. This is just to keep me going, keep the juices flowing, get me talking about stuff that's on my mind on a daily, weekly basis whenever I can get to record. And my goal is to have every episode under 15 minutes. Obviously, this episode is kind of rant-based, but also just kind of talking about life. Like, at the end of the day, just be nice to people. It's really not that hard. Respect your elders. And you know what? I'm not a religious person or any kind of, you know, I was just raised on good morals. And like, don't get me wrong, like my parents are not like saints in the political department or anything. They're kind of South Jersey hicks, but I love them and they taught me what's wrong and right. And like, don't be rude to people. Don't stare at people, don't push people in public. Like, those are things that, like, if you had good parents, they would teach you not to do those things. Like, it's fucked up. So anyway, if you listened, thank you. I hope that you feel similar with that sentiment about just having general manners in life. I think the city changes people so immensely that you just need to take a step back and be a decent human being. It's not that hard. Should I have yelled back at that man? No, but like, he also probably doesn't expect the way that he spoke to me as like just a woman is probably very evident on how he speaks to a lot of women. And a lot of women probably won't say anything back to him. So I felt like it was my duty to stand up for myself, those elderly people, and any other women that he might try to confront. Like, fuck that guy. Gah. So I didn't want to circle back at that guy, but compliments rule, dickheads suck, and just be nice to people. That's all I got to say. You're listening to Brandi is Going to Hell Quickies Edition. You can follow me online pretty much anywhere at Brandi Lukas. That's Brandi with an I, Lucas with a K. Peace out.